In the NBA, success is measured in championship rings. However, there are exceptional players who, despite their brilliance on the court, were never able to secure the coveted ring. In this video, we will explore the 10 best players without a ring in NBA history. 1. Karl Malone, 14-time All-Star, 2-time MVP, and the best center in the league in the 90s, as well as one of the best in history. With a solid statistical line of 24.4 points, 10.4 rebounds, and 3.7 assists in the two finals he played, both against Michael Jordan and the Bulls. Big words. And yet, of the 8 losses that left them without a ring in those 2 seasons, 6 were by 5 or fewer points. Malone had more to do with that than anyone else. At 40, he made one last attempt at the Lakers, but the Pistons blew up a project that had 3 consecutive rings in the 2004 finals. 2. Charles Barkley. If it weren't for Jordan, Charles Barkley would have been MVP of the finals in 1993. He was already MVP of the regular season after scoring 27.3 points, 13 rebounds, and 5.5 assists on average. And, of course, I would have a ring. But the Suns fell in 6 games to the Bulls. He was never that close again, but that does not tarnish the career of one of the best players in the history of the sport, a power forward with a physique ahead of his time. 3. Elgin Baylor, one of the most notable NBA players without a championship ring. He left an indelible mark on basketball history, with notable averages in the playoffs, being the 6th leading scorer with 27 points per game and the 12th leading rebounder with 12.9 rebounds per game. He demonstrated his dominance on the court. Baylor spent most of his career with the Lakers in the 1960s, where he faced the legendary Boston Celtics in 7 NBA Finals, losing most of them in the 7th game, 2 by 2 points and 1 on time. Extra for 3 points. In the 1971-1972 season, Baylor retired after just 9 games due to injuries. That same season, the Lakers won the championship, but Baylor did not officially receive a championship ring, even though he is considered part of the winning team. 4. John Stockton, top assistant in the history of the league. He ruled the statistics in 9 of his 19 seasons in the NBA. John Stockton had the same problem as Karl Malone, the Chicago Bulls. In 1997, in the conference finals, he scored what is surely the most important basket of his career. A triple to qualify the Utah Jazz to the first finals in their history, eliminating the 2-time champion Rockets. But both the year and the following could not finish off Jordan and company. One of the best foundations ever left honey on the lips. 5. Patrick Ewing, a towering figure in the NBA. He saw his legacy largely overshadowed by clashes with Michael Jordan. Despite his talent and leadership, Ewing's Knicks lost 5 times to the Bulls in the playoffs. Although they made it to the finals in 1994, they ran into Hakeem Olajuwon and the Rockets, where Ewing failed to win the championship. Throughout his career, Ewing was an exceptional center, but he competed in an era with giants like Olajuwon, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Russell, and Shaquille O'Neal, which made it difficult for him to obtain individual awards, despite his multiple selections to the All-Star and the teams of best players. 6. Steve Nash, another unrepeatable point guard who has never played in the NBA Finals. In his case, not even conference ones. His Suns, a historic team in the regular season with levels of offensive efficiency never seen before, did not even manage to force a 7th game in the conference semifinals the 3 times they got there. But that does not mean that we cannot recognize the Canadian as one of the great players without a ring. A double MVP, there are not many who can say that, the driving force and brain of a team that in a certain way marked the path of basketball in the last decade. 7. Reggie Miller, he is recognized as one of the most intense competitors in basketball history, in addition to being one of the best 3-point shooters, ranking 3rd on the list of most 3-pointers made behind Ray Allen and Stephen Curry. Despite his talent, Miller experienced disappointment in the playoffs, losing 3 conference finals 7th games with the Pacers against different teams. Finally, in 2000, when they reached the NBA Finals, Miller and his team were dominated by the Lakers, erasing their hopes of a championship. 8. Allen Iverson, a unique player of his kind who revolutionized the NBA landscape in the late 90s and early 2000s. 4 times the league's top scorer, MVP in 2001. His peak moment was never so close to arrive like in that season. He led the Sixers to the finals, the last time this historic franchise has done so. And in his first game, he was going to score 48 points against the Lakers, defending champions. That was the end of his assault on the ring. The Angelenos would win the next 4 games and Iverson was never again in a position to be an NBA champion, but that has not prevented him from being remembered by all fans of the sport. 9. James Harden. Although James is still active, the Beard's only foray into the NBA Finals so far was 11 years ago when he was still a substitute in Oklahoma. That team, still quite young, fell to the Miami Heat of the Big Three but seemed destined to succeed in the future. Harden was the first to abandon ship before testing this theory. In Houston, he became one of the best players in the league, MVP in 2018 and top scorer 3 times in figures only seen in Chamberlain and Jordan. 10. Tracy McGrady. Known for his exceptional talent on the court, he experienced his greatest moment late in his career. Although his run in the 2013 finals with the Spurs did not culminate in a championship, it was the first time he reached that stage in his career. Before that, McGrady faced difficulties, including injuries and early playoff exits. However, his ability was undeniable, being the league's top scorer twice and selected 7 times in the best quintets of the season. These players have left an indelible mark on basketball history despite not having won a championship. Their talent, dedication, and contribution to the game make them worthy of a prominent place in the fans' memories. Who do you think deserved a ring more? Leave your opinion in the comments.